Morning. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to do a walk 18. So, okay. Right, here we go then. Walk 18 on Maidenhead Golf Course. Very mild this morning. Ground feels a lot firmer than it did certainly the other week when I did this. There's a lot less puddle around. Ground feels a lot firmer. Had a little bit of rain this week, but it was obviously frozen before that. Last time I did that bunker over there was absolutely full. I thought about doing this the first time, but why not? It's a nice day today, it's very mild, it's sunny, so I'm going to go and walk. So what I'll do, I'll walk around the back of each green and the back of each white tee, which is the back tee. And I've sent an email to the club already this morning saying I'm doing this. So hopefully one of the greenkeepers doesn't come out and go, "Oh, what are you doing on it?" like they did last time. Even if they do, I'm not actually doing anything wrong because I'm not playing golf. I'm walking around a golf course with my golf clubs but not playing golf. Some might say I do that a lot often anyway. Well, this is a bit spongy on this fairway. So I thought what I might do, I might go through my best and worst scores on each hole. It sounds like agony and pain. So obviously this is the first. We'll probably see some people walking around on the golf course today because it's almost like a public park where there's no golf on it. Not supposed to be on it, but you know, not hurting anyone, is it? So this is the first green. 2 bunkers I've been in too many times to mention. One of them was on my worst score on this hole, in the middle, where I got a 10. A 10 on the first hole. Isn't that nice? However, I have made a 3 on more than one occasion in the middle. Always think that's a bit scary. Getting a 3 on the first hole, because you know it's not going to get any better than that, and it's only going to get worse. Still very soft underfoot here. I think it's going to get softer underfoot in a minute because it's one of the wettest parts of the course. Although we're on the top of a hill, it's either clay round here or gravel, and there are some gravelly bits and there are some very clay bits. So now we're on the second. Let's walk round to the second. There we are, that's the second. Walk around the back of the tee. I'm not going to be zooming in and zooming out and doing any of that sort of stuff. Can't be bothered. A bit breezy again. Can't hear anything. It's because it's a bit windy. Around here, see there's a few there. Don't know how many times I've hit that. That's the 17th over there. Later. Hopefully I'm going to get round here in about an hour or so. First time I did it 1:14, 4.41 miles. Quite a lot of photos around. Hopefully I'll be a lot quicker than that today. Not as squidgy as it has been. Very, very squidgy this fairway the other week before we had all the snow and the cold weather. Christmas morning, the sun coming around when that tree was a tree, not just a stump. I had to take it down in the middle of a competition because a massive branch of it broke off and they had to close the hole. And there was a lot of water in the rapids as well the other week. Some stuff cleared up and people I've had a 10 in here in the medal as well. So, best eclectic score so far is 5, worst eclectic score is 20, which is not good. Right, that's where the public footpath comes across the golf course. I'm over there and across. We're going to go across up to the third tee, which from the back and a little bit narrow. Oh, I've got some people on. Alright. Yes, good morning to you too. Right. So, now walking to the back of the third. Hole. Back tee. It's a bit narrow from the back. I managed to hit that tree before. I managed to put it in that big tree before. I managed to put it in these trees before. I've actually hit that bin once off a very terrible drive. And I've actually managed to stick it in the greenside bunker as well off a drive, which is some feat for a left-hander. So the public footpath comes straight across here, straight across the fourth as well. Suppose we haven't seen more people out. Oh, there's someone coming across over there. very mild out considering it's still February and it isn't officially spring for another 4 weeks. That tree is hit by lots of people. Basically from this hole and the fourth hole, people hit that one. Favourite bunker, a lot of people go in the trees left there as well. And that fairway bunker has a very strong ball magnet in it as well, especially in the summer. This is one of the can get a bit hard in the summer here, and balls tend to kick off left and go in that thing with alarming regularity. It's not a bad place to be though. You can't really see a lot of the green because of the slope in front of it. My worst score here in a medal or a competitive round, yes, I think I've had a 10 on here as well. I managed to stick it out of bounds in the trees and then have a complete nightmare in the hole. In the medal, my best score in here is a 3, but just in a friendly round I have had a 2 on here. I pitched in my second shot. A lovely green, this one. Gets a bit soggy in the winter because obviously everything funnels off this hill and down onto the green. And you've got that's all protected woodland there, so that can never ever be built on. I'm going to walk around the back of this green and you'll see just how far it drops down. I'll show you over the back. There you go. So if you go down that path, you can actually get back to the first hole. It goes through the woods. Drops down a long way down there. Been over there many a time as well. Stuck quite a few in out of bounds in there. Get a lot of animals digging around here as well, which is sometimes ruins the greens, but can't be helped. Right, now we're off to the fourth. A few repairs on these parts, I think. This one was a little bit muddy before lockdown 3. Now we come to the longest hole on the golf course, which is the 474 yard par 4, well, longest par 4, not longest hole. It feels like the longest hole, but it's a par 4. I'm sure for most of these pros these days it's a drive and a flick with a wedge or something, but unfortunately, most golfers are not superhuman, and it's a long old trot, this one. And the prevailing wind, usually on this hole, is straight in the face. So it plays even longer than its 474. It's less bad in the summer because ground's a lot firmer, ball rolls a long way when you hit your drive. Mind you, I usually hit mine in those trees over there. Let me plug my battery in because this drains. There we go. So hopefully that'll Should say I'm charging now. Is it charging? I think so. Let me just check it's charging. Right. Yes, I usually go in these trees here on my drive, or up the left. Sometimes I manage to get it down the middle, but I'm not that good a golfer, so it doesn't often happen. It's not that I want to try. They say golf is all about loft. Lack of flipping talent. I think I've got that in spades. So this is where a good decent drive gets, and you've still got 200 odd in those 211 those ones. It's a big green as well. You'll see that in a second when we get up there. I've had an 11 on this hole in a medal. I'm not proud to say. Lost a couple of balls in the trees and had to drop, and penalties and one green side bunker on this hole. There used to be a bunker right back in the fairway, but they filled that in. It wasn't very nice. That's a fairly well used bunker. Yeah, so worst score on this hole, 11. Well, recorded in a medal, or round you've got a card in your hand. But I have managed to get 2 3s in medals here, which is nice. So what we're up to now, so 5 after 2, 3, 8, 11 best score, and the worst electric score now is 41. Looking back towards the tee now. Yeah, worst ever eclectic score. Oh, that's going to be about 100. I reckon we're going to be about 180 all told in the end. So basically a 10. Oh, it's very squidgy around here. It's a very clay area around here. Right. This coming up to the 5th hole now. I think this is what we call Trevor's bench, one of our former members. So this is not a very long hole, this one, but it's a card wrecker because it should be just a gentle knock down there and a knock down to the green with a medium or short iron or a wedge. And at times people walk off it with a 5, a 6 and a 7. It's amazing. see a few deer on this hole because they sort of live in the woods a lot round here, both sides, and you often see them wandering across, running around. It's quite nice. See people walking around the course today. I think it's weird that I'm allowed to walk around this golf course with my golf clubs on my back, but if I play golf, that's wrong. Just sounds just a little mad. But hey ho, them's the rules, and we got to stick by them. Hopefully, not many more weeks. This course could do with a little bit of a growth and drying out before we start playing on it. Otherwise, it would just churn into mud again in a lot of places. So, my worst score, recorded score on this hole, I think there's a 9. I've got a 9 on this one before. Basically, awful bunker playing, being in the trees and doing very well. Never managed a 2 on this one, haven't managed an eagle, but I've got plenty of birdies. It's a tricky little hole. 4 bunkers around a little tiny little narrow green with 2 tiers. Tough. Yeah, these bunkers have dried out as well because these were full of water the other week when we had all that incessant rain. See? Morning. Huh? Yeah. Right. On to the first par 3. Long hole. And the longer this one is, they have the pin at the back, the longer everyone has to wait on this hole because people tend to go not straight. Never had a hole in one on this one. A couple of members I know have. It's a long shot. So for back it's 1.9, I think it's 1.92, 1.93 middle, which for most golfers is either a long iron or some sort of wood or hybrid or metal, whatever you're going to call it these days. Just trying to remember what my worst ever score in a competition on this hole. I don't think it's actually that bad. I think I might have had an 8 before. So if that's the case, I've had 2s on here in medals. And in a medal, you put your pound in what they call 2s club. And if you get a 2, you get a share of the pot. And I've had a few shares of the pot out of this hole in my time here. Obviously there's no flags on the green, so it doesn't tempt people to come and do a naughty and play it, although I'm sure they have, because I've seen a few divots on a few of the holes. But you see these holes on the green here, and mostly crows digging for leather jackets. Right, that's the 6th hole done. down to the 7th. Slip over. Clubs are slipping out of my bag, which they're not, which is good. Right. This is one of the nicest holes on the golf course. Let's walk down the path to the back tee, which doesn't get a lot of sunlight in the summer, so they never put grass there. They put an artificial tee at the back, which most of us don't actually like, but we won't go into that here. Bit close to all these houses. One of these houses, I think they've got chickens in their back garden, so you hear the chickens clucking sometimes, rooting around in the bushes for worms and slugs and stuff. Right, so here we go on the back tee. There we go. Tough drive this one. Narrow. People hit that tree sometimes off the tee. Lots of people hit those trees off the tee, included. It's all on a slope, this hole, and in the winter this one can get really, really boggy. So after 6 holes, what was my best deck? Eclectic was my worst. So we've eagled 2 and 3, and we've birdied the rest of them. So that's 6 threes are 18, minus 1, 17. And the worst, we had 3 10s and an 11, and an 8, and an 8, I think. Probably wrong there, but so we're 57, I think, which is terrible. Fortunately, though, that wasn't all in one round. So this hole gets quite boggy. That's the end of the footpath there that goes down to Braywick. It's very muddy there. This gets boggy, this fairway, because it all slopes down. Slopes down towards Braywick. Down there. There used to be that tree there. Used to be big old horse chestnut. It sort of died off and they had to cut it down because it was coming down unsafe, and it used to stretch right across to where you see the little tree and almost touch the side of the bunker, so it made the hole look a lot different. When Greg Norman came to practice here, he said it was one of the nicest holes. Can't wait, really. We have to chop this gorse down quite a lot because it just gets too mushy. Chop it back every couple of years. So, lovely little hole. I'm going to go and hear these bunkers really. Which I've done on many occasions. I think the worst score in a medal competition I've had on here, I've had an 11 on here. I know I've had an 11. So what's that, 68? Worst now. I haven't learned this before in the middle. So that would be 17, 20. I thought that was a ball then. Just stone. Oh no, it was a ball. It was a ball buried in the grass. So God knows who's been playing around there. Sometimes you see like eggs on the fairway because the crows or whatever, or the magpies have been nicking eggs out of the trees, out of the nests of other birds. Very raised green, this one. Pretty soft around here as well. Let's look at the back of the tee from the back of the green. Nice hole, not a flat bit on it. Right, now we're going to walk up to the 8th. Sometimes you see the old deer in here as well. Usually lots of squirrels as well, rustling through these leaves. Looks completely different in winter, obviously. Very sort of Spartan. Right. This is probably one of the toughest tee shots on the golf course because it's very sort of narrow, especially when you're off the back. Right, now if I stand at the back here, this is the 8th tee. This is probably the closest you'll get to being on the Augusta 18th on this golf course. In the summer, obviously, the trees growing a little bit more. Some people with shape to their game sometimes have difficulty on this tee, hitting either trees, left or right. I've apparently hit all of them. I think this is my favourite hole, of course. This is tough. This is a tough golf hole. It's quite long. Well, for us mere mortals anyway, not these guys that hit it silly distances. They've cleared it out over the years. It used to be a lot bushier than that. Took a lot of the scrubby little bushes away. You can actually find your ball if you hit it in there now sometimes. On a Saturday morning. Why? That's where so I'm walking around the golf course, filming it. People seem to love that on YouTube. Waffling on for hours on YouTube, so hey ho. Those trees over there have magnets. Lots of times I've been in those trees. Little stick there is so it's 150 to the middle of the green. In the summer it's good, gives yourself a shot. So where you want to hit your second shot here, you always aim to the left hand side of this mound up ahead, because everything kicks left. You aim at the left hand side of that mound, because if you go too far left, I'll show you in a second, very, very, very big dip, and the bunker, and trees. Slope over there. I used to get even on this hole, but I've had only breeze. So what's the eclectic up now? It's 17, 20, 23 shots after 8 holes. I've had a 10 on here, up in the middle, so what are we up to now? I think we're up to 79. Worst score, a worst eclectic ever of 79. Terrible. Must be mad playing this game. Stupid. Gander back towards the tee. It's not that you can probably see it, or you can just see it right in the background over there. It's a long way, and that's 8 done. We're almost halfway round already. Isn't that nice? Right, this is for the gentleman, what is affectionately known as P corner, because gentlemen with less stout bladders tend to need to water the plants there. Very close to the edge of harvesting up here. And this is the par 5 9th hole. So let's have a 512 yards or thereabouts. There's a breeze around here, a bit sheltered I think today. I've not done it myself, but I've seen someone hit a tee shot into that bunker before, off this hole. That's the 11th over there. But we've all had bad holes there. I've seen 2 people get hit with golf balls. One got hit off the 9th tee on the 8th, and one got hit on the 9th and from a ball coming from the 8th tee. And both times I thought they'd been shot. Ground is a little bit less soft here than it has been, which is nice. This is one of the gravelly areas around here now. As you get over there, where the willow trees are, it's like a swamp. And the only time you'll see willow trees growing up the top of a hill. Long hole, this one. I've played with 2 guys who've hit a driver and a short iron into this hole. Just a different game. Three good shots for someone like me. Although I've hit 3 bad shots in here before and got a birdie. Chipped in with my 4 shot. I've eagled this I've got a 3 on here in a practice round, never in a medal. Best score on this one's a 4. Shocking, I know. Those trees over there get visited a lot off the tee. So do these ones. I've actually played with someone who's actually got their ball stuck in one of the branches of those trees a few years ago. Safe to say he had to take a penalty drop. These are 2 old bunkers. If you get up to the here with your tee shot, you can get a good shot at the green. It's about 225 yards from here. It's a little practice area over there to the left of the 9th. Practice their short game, and Pro gives lessons there sometimes. It's very soft underfoot of its bit here, very squidgy. Well, you haven't seen my trousers yet, so there we go. Shoes are filthy already. Oh. It's an awful difference when I'm doing 5 miles every morning, walking normally, or power walking, and when you've got, 15 kilos on your back or whatever it is, more in the summer if you're carrying water, it's certainly, you feel the difference, because we're probably only up to about just over 2 miles here. That tree's got a magnet in it. That one, those trees over there tend to have a magnet in them as well, for some golfers. Someone else walking around the course. Two more bunkers that have magnets in them as well. It's amazing. I didn't think sand had that magnetic a property, but it obviously does. I've definitely had a 10 on this one, so we'll call it 89 the worst for the front 9, and we'll call it so we were 17, 20, 23, 4, so 27, so best birdied every hole, and the worst almost 10 a hole in the middle. Right, we're coming to the back 9. This is the 10th par 3. Lots of bunkers on this one. This is the back tee here. There's another tee over there, which gets used as well. Can't see much of the green from here, but there's 4 bunkers. No, there's 5 bunkers, sorry. 5. It's the site of my second ever hole-in-one on this hole. Sorry, my 3rd hole-in-one, my 2nd on this course. Bunkers on this one. I'll get a hole in one in the middle round, so the best score in here in the middle is a 2, so up to 26. And I have had a 9 in here on the middle, so what we're up to, 89, 98 for a worse score, so we're doing 2 better than 10s at the moment, or it might be less than 180. See the tee from here. There we go. Right. This here is the site of the winter tee for the blokes on the 11th. The ladies are further forward. But the summer tee for the Japs are far around the corner. That's where an innocuous little hut that looks like it's an electricity substation is in fact the Thunderbox. Right, we'll come round to the 11th tee. I'm doing a few touch-ups. That bit always gets worn out because everyone dumps the bags there when they playing off this tee. That's the 16th there, that's the 15th. We shall be coming to them shortly. So this is the 11th, this is the second longest par 4 on the course. Tough drive, lots of people hit these trees or go in those 2 bunkers up there. I've done that myself on quite a few occasions. How many people have we got watching? Just a couple. Still mad. Nearly as mad as I am. Shall we download this later and post it on YouTube? So if you're that stupid and dull and boring like I am, you can watch it back. Sun's gone in now. It's temperature's gone off a bit, but it's still not pleasant. Still not unpleasant. It's about 12-13 degrees. First time this year I've just worn a t-shirt and just a thermal layer. Yeah, these bunkers have got magnets in them. Quite a lot of people go in these ones. It's still a long way to the green from here. Don't know if this one's got yardage on the back of it, probably not because it's too far away. Maybe. And the crappy leaves. Right. Some trees that have magnets in them there. A few people going in that gorse and those trees as well. Off the tee. Reasonable tee shot here. Sort of down here really. About 190 yards or so to go. 200 maybe, just past this tree. I know I've had an 11 on here in the medal, so I think we're up to 110 now. Because we were on 98, weren't we? So we're 109. But yeah, I have had threes in here in medals as well, which is good. Actually hold out from the bunker, 2 of the bunkers here for a 3 in a medal. But yeah, if I walk off with a 5 normally, I'll go, yep, I'll take that, thank you. 6, yeah, grumpy. 7, 7 or more. You don't really want a snowman on your card. Gravelly fairway bunker, but that was full up the other week, so that's gone down a lot. This is not the biggest of greens for a par 4 because it's all slopes away from you as you're hitting towards it. So if you go a bit too far, the ball just goes pew, straight through. And the thing is, if you land it short, wherever you land it, sometimes it'll end up short. It won't roll on. So it's a very small green really for a long par 4. It's a nice tee over there. That's a nice road. This was like a bog the other week. This is the other water. And that's what it looks like from behind the green. Going back towards the tee. Now we're on to the 12. So you can see this gets very, very wet here. And that's why these willows grow quite well here. So what we think's happening over here is people are walking through here, cutting through from Harvest Hill up the course, because this basically looks like you're walking through the, bridle ways around here. People are cutting through here and walking onto the course. But this is the 12th. This isn't a long hole, but this is another card wrecker. Not long at all, this one. 300 yards. Out of bounds on the left. I managed to hit a car once on my drive. Not proud to say that, but it happens. I don't think they heard me shout 4 in their car, funnily enough. Oh, yeah. You can hear that. That's some idiot thinking it's a Brands Hatch and not the A308M. Happens quite a lot around here. Gentlemen making up for their lack of genitalia normally. Bunker magnet there. There used to be an old bunker on the left here, but they filled this in because it was. So you get here and it goes a bit gravelly again here. So these bunkers tend to get very stony, and that one was never very nice. It's just a hollow now, but people still go in it. I have actually managed to get a 2 on this hole in the competition, but it didn't do me any good because it was a bogey competition, and a bogey competition is where all you have to do is beat the course on the hole with your handicap. So if you get a birdie on a hole you don't get a shot on, you win the hole. I got an eagle, but it didn't count for anything because all I needed to do was get a birdie. So I do have a 2 on this hole in competition, which is nice. So what are we up to now? We're on a 27, 30, 32 best. I think the worst I've done on this hole is an 8 in a competition. It might be a 9, but I'm pretty sure it's an 8. Quadruple bogey. Probably went in these bunkers. Not a long hole, but the green is, it's uphill, it's covered by, it's a slant as well, it's not straight onto the hole, and it can muck people up somewhat, but yeah, I've managed to get a 2 on this one. So an 8, what are we up to now? We're on 109 and an 8, it's 117. So 117 and 32. Best to worst, amazing. Now we come to the 13th, which is unlucky for some, but not for me. because I got my first ever hole-in-one on this hole, and it was against the Captain and Pro in the Captain and Pro Challenge, and I was around here, hit a 7-iron up to the green, bent down to pick my tee up, and the pro went, oh damn, it's gone in the hole. So this is what this one looks like. This is the 13th. Had my fair share of nightmares on this hole as well. Knocked it out of bounds left once, knocked it in those trees once. This gets very wet down here. This is usually a lake in the winter. Actually, I took a picture here a few weeks ago and it literally was a complete lake down here. I always think that down here. And if you missed that, I think it might have disconnected for a second because we're away from civilization for a bit. Got my first ever hole-in-one on this hole. I would normally walk up that side, but it's a bit squidgy over there. And coming up the hill. That's the 15th green there. This is the 13th. So we'll go in front of this. Yeah, so I've got a hole-in-one on this one. Although the Captain and Pro Challenge isn't an official competition, so I can't really claim a 1 in competition on here. So it's a 2. So we're up to 34, I think. And my worst score on here, I think I've had a 9 on here in the middle, which is now 126. Oh dear. Now this is a hard hole. This is the 14th. A dog leg right this hole. So we walk down here. Narrow tee shot as well with the trees. I think I pretty hit almost all of these as well in my time. These used to be box hedges, but they took them out because they were all dying off a bit and a bit of a pain. So they grew gorse here instead. It grows a lot nicer. I don't know if it's gorse or broom. I think it's gorse. It's the stuff that gets yellow flowers on it twice a year anyway. Like those just start to come out there, isn't it? Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Lovely. Get lots of deer on this one as well. I tend to live in these trees around here. Quite often you see them sprinting across. Not usually this time of day though. Early morning and summer evenings, wandering around. Very nice. So hear the M4 in the background, but it's not too bad. And more tree magnets there on the left. On the right and on the left. Tough hole this one because you have to sort of drive left to go right, or if you're one of the big lads, you boom it straight over the top of everything and land way down there. But not me. I can't hit it that far. I'm a big chap, but I'm not that talented. I just knock it round how I can knock it round. Make the best out of it I can. And I have had an 11 here in the medal as well. Oh dear. So I think we're up to 138. But I'm just going to stand here. And I take this bush out here now, but I hit probably one of my best ever shots I hit here. I had a very small gap to go through, hit it through the trees onto the green to about 2 foot and hold the putt for a birdie. And I thought I was Seve Ballesteros. Sadly, not. But we all have our moments. It's just the pros have lots of moments every round, and we get one moment every month. This gets very wet round here as well. There's a spring underneath this hole. So at the front here it gets very, very squidgy. You'll probably see the little sort of like undulations. Yeah, I'm going to walk around this bit. It's a bit squidgy. But it's a lot better than it was a couple of weeks ago, because that was literally... Oh, it's flatty around here, yes, definitely. Very squidgy. Another narrow green. That's the 14th. Tough hole. 4th fastest hole on the course. Lots of big scores on this one. Right, on to the 15th. They've re-turfed recently. Doesn't grow a lot in the winter here. That house is always dark in the summer. Must be the darkest house to live in Maidenhead, I think. Right, here we go. Narrow tee shot again. Bunker on the left, trees on the right, trees on the left. Dips and hollows and all sorts of stuff. Walk on the new turf. Enjoying the morning air as well. Probably can't hear me on this one because it's right into the wind, this one, which would make it a very, very tough shot today actually. Tee. The dip gets quite soggy down there. Should be hitting your tee shot there anyway. Should be hitting it up past this bunker up here. Even been in the bunker on the 16th a few times as well. And those trees. And those trees. But when you do get a good one away, it's nice. Because you look straight down the fairway at the green. And those trees there, they cleared out a load of bushes there a few years ago. And I found a 50-year-old golf ball in Dunlop Warwick. And it was a small golf ball, not the regulation size we have these days. And I cleaned it. It was all like caked in mud, and I took it home and cleaned it up, and it's now on my shelf at home, along with a Penfold Commando, which is the golf balls I hit when I first started playing golf, because they were cheap. I used to get them in a box of 12 from Argos, along with a ball marker, a pitch mark repairer, a ball cleaner and some teas. Oh, those were the days, looking through the Argos catalogue at the golf stuff, dreaming of being able to afford a Wilson golf bag or some Wilson golf clubs. But not me though, because I'm a left hooker. And when I started playing golf, left-handed clubs were not as readily available as right-handed clubs. So my first set was a mix and match set of Petron Impalas at the local paper. Lovely. Couldn't hit them for toffees. They were like butter knives. Right, so the 15th green. I think my worst score here in a medal has been a 9. So yeah, we're up to, I think we were 138, weren't we? So 147. Oh, maximum break in golf. Maximum break in golf, maximum break in snooker. But I have had a 3 on here as well. So what are we up to now? We're 27 at halfway. 30, 32, 34, 37, 40. 40 is my best ever eclectic. And my worst 137. Terrible. Love it though. As we come to the 16th. Almost had a hole in one on this one. Not quite though. Tough old shot from the it's here, quite a long hole. Trees are magnets. Bunkers are also magnets on here. So let's walk down this one. Let's just show you that. There you go. Right, 2 from the back. Can you miss it? That's the 10th over there. People wandering around again. Right. Just trying to remember my worst ever score in a medal here. I think it's an 8. So what are we on now? We're on 147, 8, 155. But I've had 2s in here in medals. I've actually had 2s in medals here, chipping out the bunkers as well, which is nice. The closest I ever got to a hole in one here was about 1.5 foot. Right, that's the 16th. Big green, lots of rolly stuff, magnet bunkers. Sometimes it gets a bit damp over the back here as well, so I might have to walk back on myself a little bit to go round. Gets a bit squidgy over the back here. Right. I can't believe there's people watching me still. It's a little bit slippy. Right, oh, it's squidgy down here. Very squidgy. Right, the penultimate hole. Lots of tree magnets on this hole. There's been lots of people walking up and down it as well. Right, here we go, here's 17. Par 5. Only about 12 yards, well not even that, I think it's about 8 yards difference from the fourth, which is over there, and that's a par 4. And this one, you've usually got the wind behind you on this one. In the winter though, when it's a northerly, oh, good grief, lazy wind, doesn't go round you, it goes straight through you. Two bunkers here that some of the older golfers don't like, because they tend to go in it. I've been in them myself though, so not really shout. If I go anywhere, I go left here, so I end up in those trees a lot. I'm known to hit the odd big hook right into these trees though. You've got a little bit more room on the right because it's sort of like fairway goes round. Definitely got a family park feel, this one. People wandering all over it. We'll try and keep out of their way. We'll walk down the right hand side of this one. And the path that cuts across from Shopenhangers to Braywick comes across just before the bunker you see right up in the distance there. Just trying to remember what my worst score on this one is. So I think it's an 8 on this. No, it's a 9. Yes, I remember now. It's a 9. So what were we? 147 after 15 and 8. 155. 164 is now our worst eclectic. 164. That is terrible. I have eagled this hole. I think I've eagled this hole in a competition as well. So that's a 3. So we're on 40, 42, 45. 45. The big boys will go on this bunker off the tee. Not me though. Don't hit it far enough for that. Don't know how we're doing for time actually. Feels like I've been over an hour though. But I'm good at waffling, so it's not really a problem for me. Another tiddly green with bunkers and trees that get found with alarming regularity. A bit squidgy round here, but not too bad. That's the wettest bit over there. It all goes down to a little pond that's over in the trees over there. Let's walk round the back of this one. And that's the 17th. There we go. Now let's walk over to the last hole. A very tough tee shot on the last. 18th tee. There we go. 18th, see the clubhouse in the background there. Tight tee shot again. Hit many of the trees on this one. Nice long hole to finish with. 6 hardest on the course. Dog's having a field day. Funny enough, in a field. Very tough last hole. Out of bounds on the left in the houses. I've seen a few people hitting in the houses. Lots of trees with magnets in them again. But a lovely, lovely finishing hole to this golf club. Never over till you finish this hole. Not one you can relax on. Got birdie here in my last competitive round before lockdown. Yeah, match with 3 of my good friends. I used to win it with a birdie 3. A match with a birdie 3 on the last. I get in there. Yeah, tree magnets over there. Tree magnets there. Good drive goes in this sort of direction. Just trying to remember my worst score, and I think I've only got an 8 on this one. Is my worst score, which is amazing really in the competition. I'm sure I've picked up the ball many a time in a practice round or a Stableford, but with a score it's got to go on a card. I think I finished with an 8 before. I've also finished with a 3. So I think we're 48 for the best, and for the worst an 8. What were we? 164. 172, so we were 8 better than 10 a hole. Well, that's not too bad, is it? 172 eclectic worst in competition rounds, with a 48 best ever. And that's how ridiculous a golf is. Fortunately though, it tends to even itself out a bit. So you end up with somewhere in the middle most of the time. Anything under 80 is good for me, my level anyway. My lowest here has been 70 in a friendly round. 75 I've had here in a medal final, which I managed to win. So I'm a gold medal winner, and my name's on the board. This was literally full of water the other week. It was literally full. You could not see any bunker in there at all. And this is the 18th. There's the clubhouse and our outdoor gazebo extension. And we're done. So I'm going to miss a lot of people. Right, so and I'm going to go. Cheers guys, thanks for watching if you did, and see you again.